The power of Christ is not in a life that the cross has not affected, that you are not crucified with Christ. There is no power if your life in some way does not immediately reflect Jesus Christ. Then you have no power and your words are emptied of its power. The cross is emptied of its power because it's words of human wisdom. Words of human wisdom have a veneer of Christianity or have a veneer of religiosity. But there's no love behind it. People who say, oh, I'm going to be tough with you because I love you. Or people who soft pedal you don't love you. If your parents raised you that way, you don't know what love means. I didn't know what love means. And my parents didn't raise me that way, but I didn't know what love meant. I didn't know what love means. When people come to the point where they don't have enough of this, saying, what options do I have? And they try to get this. And that's how we all are. We start saying, God will take care of me. When there's no food in the pantry, you say, God will take care of me. Not because you send money into a preacher, but God will take care of me. When you put aside the sins and say, I'm not going to worry, because God will take care of me. When you worry, you prove to me that either your faith is weak or you have no faith whatsoever. Even the atheists have faith. They have faith in a science, often. You can't tell me that all atheists know all science. They have faith in science. They have faith in money. Why don't you have faith? What do you have faith in? The Bible says you are trusting in deceptive words. The temple of the Lord, the temple of the Lord, the temple of the Lord. Will you, it says, will you steal, commit adultery, murder, and then come into my house that is called by my name, that you may do these abominations? God also says, when you offer the blind and the lame for sacrifice, is it not wrong? Try offering such religion to your governor. Oh, yeah. Go to your mayor. See if he'll be pleased with you. You give it to your church, but you forget about the poor. But Paul says that they urged him, or I think that the apostles urged him, or was it Peter? Urged him to remember the poor. And Paul said the exact thing I was eager to do. But I've seen your so-called Christianity in respect to the poor. There's somebody on YouTube, and he wasn't always asking for money, but every once he'd say, look, I have no money, you're supposed to be a Christian, help me. And from what his report was, and the response he was getting in the comments section, he was put down rather than given money. Give to those who ask you, Jesus says. But that's another one of those laws that you violate because you have no faith. You have faith in this because you use this, but you don't use that. There's a higher currency than this, and you won't spend with it, and you lack the benefits that it provides. For you who call yourself a believer, you who engross yourself in people like Tommy from the Bronx, who glorify murder, and yet you say you have faith. You who get excited and joyful that you're watching murder on TV and you say you've repented. You engross yourself on what's wrong and say, I believe. I don't believe you. I've seen the sorry excuse word exists for Christianity, and that's not even knowing your life. I see the pitiful excuse out there for Christianity. You think by Gnosticism, by knowledge, whether it be as in the Bible, what the Bible condemns, Kabbalism, or the secrets of, what is it, the dark secrets of Satan, all that stuff. And the church was getting involved in that. And Jesus was saying in Revelation, I commend you that some of you haven't got involved in that. The deep secrets of Satan or something like that. Wait a minute. Who are we serving here? Your faith is void. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I'm not talking about, so you're talking about somebody. No, I'm not talking about anybody in particular. I'm talking about the group of these people that call themselves Christians. Rather than call a spade, you'll go around and say, well, I know it, I know, basically, that somebody who's speaking the truth is lying, and someone who's lying is speaking the truth. I mean, you're happy to be presumptive with people who are questionable, and you're questioning of people who you're presumptive of. You're happy to be presumptive of questionable people, and then you presume on other people, anything to start a fight, and you say you have faith. I don't believe you. You say, I must have faith because that would mean I'm not a believer. Well, the same thing happened to me before I became a Christian. I believed I was a believer. I was so certain, and I wasn't really so certain. I just had to be a believer. I wanted to be right. It's not a matter of wanting to be right. It's not a matter of wanting to seem right. It's a matter of doing what Jesus Christ says. If you don't follow Jesus Christ, there is no path to salvation. People followed Jesus Christ before they became saved. They just didn't watch Jimmy Swaggart on TV and say a prayer and say, well, Jimmy Swaggart I know is off, but he led me to become a Christian, or whatever. Until there's a recognition that the Orthodox Christianity that's preached to you on YouTube and on TV and on radio, I've heard, there's some Lutheran network thing. I was listening to some Lutheran network thing. And yes, of course they have good things on there. If they didn't, they wouldn't hook anybody. Okay? And there's a Catholic network. Oh, and I've been through, when I was a kid, all the Baptist preachers. Hogwash. You know it, and I know it, but you're lying to yourself. You don't have faith, and I don't believe you. Okay? Oh, who are you talking about? I'm not talking about anybody in particular. I see the general tone on here. You don't have faith. You're not even trying to follow Christ. You don't even have faith enough to follow Christ. Let alone the faith that takes that step into a Christian world, into a Christian mindset, into God saying, okay, he's willing to follow me all the way, therefore I'm going to save him all the way.